Hi there, we're Geeks Assembled, and I'm joined by Tim and Susan, and we'll be discussing a movie from 2006 based on a graphic novel starring Natalie Portman and Hugo Weaving, to name two. We are talking V Vendetta. And, remember the 5th of November. It's all about that, yeah, in the modern day society of London. So we'll go to opening thoughts on V for Vendetta. Susan, let's go to you first.
Am I muted? No, I'm good. Okay. So V is amazing. This is a really incredibly interesting movie. It is so brutal in places, and it is so uplifting in places. And I just got, I gotta say that when I first saw it in 2006. I wasn't super familiar with Hugo Weaving, but I love his stuff. I love Priscilla. I love the Matrix movies, and I really love the Lord of the Rings movies. And so, Hugo Weaving is fast becoming one of my favorite actors. I mean, nobody's going to ever beat Elrond in a million years. Anyway, so so good to even his mask work is brilliant. I mean, he does it all with his voice and his physicality. He chews scenery through a mask. I mean, that's amazing. Like, people are all complaining right now because you can't express yourself fully with a mask on. I say horse shit. You could totally do it. Look at what Hugo Weaving does. Look at this, and it's a bloody British movie. I mean, really, like you can do anything. You can be repressed and still have the best acting. Oh my gosh, I just gotta say. So yeah, it's the story of the uprising of ordinary people against an oligarch and a militaristic fascist state, and it's quite sweeping in scope, and it's incredibly chiaroscuro, black and white, dark and light. It's got and it's really brutal in places, and we'll get into that when I'm done, or when it comes back around to me. Anyway, yeah, back over to you, Lee.
Thank you, Susan. Yes, you said, yeah, it's a British movie, but that damn Hugo Weaving, he's Australian. How dare he? How dare he be in a British movie? Get back to the colonies. Right, we'll go over to Tim.
Is it a British movie though? Isn't it made by an American company?
No? Yeah. It's mostly American backing.
The cast is amazing. You got an amazing British cast, that's for sure. Mm-hmm. I mean, they just keep popping up, and you're like, oh yeah, I know. Oh, I know him. It's like, wow. It's very well cast. It's an excellent film. I'd forgotten how good it was. I hadn't seen it in about 10 years, and I was like, wow, this is really good. It's hard to say. It's the politics of it are really quite approaching in a lot of ways. I mean, it's like this could happen. I mean, this is what happens when people have too much power, and this is what they do. And but the fact that you've got a guy demonized as a terrorist who's actually just trying to give the power to the people in his own way, and he's a brilliant guy, and he's a victim of being tampered with or whatever by this shadow organization that kind of did experiments on people. All that's very, very depressing to see in the film. and it's also very depressing to see what happens to this young lady who he chooses to be his protege, I guess, because she ends up doing a lot of the work for him. But it's a great film. It's very original. I've never read the book or the graphic novel, but it's written, of course, by Alan Moore, who's famous for The Watchmen. A few years later, he wrote that as well. But yeah, it's a great film. So I really can't tell you how it was an accurate adaptation, but it was a very enjoyable movie, though, and it holds up pretty well since it's about 15 years old now. So I enjoyed it very much.
Thanks, Tim. Yeah, it does hold up well. I mean, it could be set in any time, really, can't it? So this one won't date as bad as some movies. Yeah, it's gritty. It's dark. There's not much comedy, shall we say, in this movie, but and as Susan said, it's about a totalitarian state ruled over by the John Hurt. I know he's like in a sort of cameo role, but when he's on the screen, he steals the screen.
It's kind of like he got through 1984 and rose up, and he's now in charge. I'm just kidding.
It's a bit spooky that the past few weeks, randomly these movies have been picked, and it's sort of been the same, 1984, V for Vendetta.
No, it's true though. You think about that while you're watching it. It is very much the opposite of the character he played in 1984. So I mean, it really is the it could have been his poster on the walls in that movie.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, as Tim said, there's faces popping up in this week. Oh yeah, there's Stephen Fry's in this. Stephen Rea, the brilliant Irish actor. Even Tim Piggott-Smith is in this, well-known British actor. But as Susan said, for Hugo Weaving to pull this off, this movie, and getting the emotions, every single emotion through a mask onto the screen, is just amazing how he does that. Just to me, to say to an actor, we want you to play this character called V, but you will never see your face. So he hasn't got an ego, has he? I'll do it. So yeah, an enjoyable movie. It was good to sit down and watch this one again. So let's go to favourite moments of things or what you were so keen on. We'll go with Tim this time.
It's really hard to say because it's one of those movies that grounds you into your seat while you're watching it because you really want to see what happens next. It never bores you really, and it just it's kind of hard to pick a favorite scene because it just flows so well. I hate to say it's the favorite scene, but what they do to the poor girl, I forget her name, but it's played by Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
It's just terrible.
Evie.
I mean, she's
Evie.
That's right. It's just horrible. I mean, and then you have that sudden strange flashback where she's reading a letter from somebody who's supposedly in the next cell, but it's really like a borrowed flashback from V himself because he set all that up so she would read that stuff and learn about this other character who's been dead a long time. I guess there's a good scene too whenever all the V's come out, all the people. In other words, the people get their power back from this crazy government, and he sees all these dead people in the crowd. So that was pretty impressive. And then just the whole idea of blowing up the parliament, I thought that was brilliant. I mean, it's and they pull it off with the special effects. It looks great. But yeah, it's a great movie. Great movie.
He succeeds blowing up Parliament where Guy Fawkes failed.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? That's the point.
Yeah. Over to Susan.
So yeah, John Hurt chewed the scenery. Stephen Fry, you really felt for him, especially when he was like, he tried to protect Evie for a little bit, and then it was him who needed protecting, and it's just, you know, how he ended up falling was amazing. And Tim, when Creedy, everything was blamed on Creedy too. I mean, that was crazy. Played by Tim Piggott-Smith, and Rupert Graves was in it as one of the detectives, or you know, the G-men sort of thing. And Ben Miles was in it, and Sinead Cusack. I mean, wow, wow, her character. And then there was John Standing and Eddie Marsan, and I mean Ian Burfield. I mean, like the cast was out of this world. And and Guy Henry's in it, and yeah. So I mean, like, you just put these many talented people together, and it's going to be tearjerker. I mean, I cried when I found out that it was V who was doing it to Evie. Oh my God, I was just like, I mean, that just breaks me. And it's the brutality of how she'd been treated, and how her imprisonment was staged and stuff, and like that was, and you know, and yeah, so, and the way that what's his name, Adam Sutler was, you know, running the show was brutal and horrible and devastating. And I mean, it was, yeah. So, but the way it was like dark and light, and you get these light moments. It was not an entirely dark piece, but it was, it had a lot of impact. And, you know, can't say enough about Hugo Weaving. It's his mastery of the craft, as it were. Anyway, yeah. So favorite moments must have been the betrayal of what's his name, of Dietrich, Stephen Fry's character, and then the betrayal of Evie. And I also love Stephen Ray. I think Maria, he's totally a Jordan you know, actor, but he's in this one, he is like, you know, he's brilliant, and as Finch. And I just want, you know, anyway, he's amazing. And the Wachowskis, I don't know if I pronounced that right, but the Wachowski siblings are great writers. And so I don't know if they wrote the graphic novel, but they did apparently write this, and so it's amazing. Anyway, yeah, all that to say, I really love it, and can't say enough good things about Hugo Weaving.
Oh,
So back over.
Thanks, Susan. Yeah,
I just forgot to mention. Sorry, I just forgot to mention they made really great use of a lot of old songs for that jukebox. They were very appropriate in a lot of ways for the soundtrack.
Yes.
So go ahead. Sorry.
Especially Cry Me a River.
Yes.
Yeah, as it's been said, it is a dark movie, but it's so colourful as well. I mean, the scene at the beginning of the movie where he blows up the Old Bailey, to the music, you know, and he's conducting all the explosion. That is just a brilliant scene.
To the battle hymn of 1812 or something, and
yeah, that was the yeah.
yeah,
That's so well shot. That is so well shot, and as you say, the torture of Evie, and then as you say, you find out he was doing it to see if she was worthy, see if she was trustworthy. That proved for me that it proves to me he's as bad as the government. So you know, there's no good side on this. I don't think. I mean, okay, yeah, he was for the people, but to get to where he wanted to get to, he didn't care who he broke, who he tortured, who he killed, and who he played off each other, because he was playing Finch off Creedy, who were both working together, but he was playing them off both each other, which was so well done. And I say Stephen Rea is a brilliant actor, and in this, when he's playing Finch, it's such a subtle character. It's not over the top. He's not menacing. He's just a police head of the police force, I think it is. Creedy, on the other hand, he's just an awful bugger, but not as bad as the John Heck character, who got his comeuppance in the end, who pleaded.
He's in the pocket of the government. That's the thing. This is a corrupt police force, and the Stephen Rea character is the only one that has any bit of goodness in him, or scruples at all. But he has to be brave enough to turn on the government, because he could just easily be taken out in a second. I mean, it's a very, very dire situation for everybody unless you're in charge. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's just like
no, it's all right. Yeah, no, feel free to ever. But yeah, so for me, it's just the cinematography of it all is just so well done. And as Tim mentioned, as when all the Guy Fawkes masks appeared on the streets, and that is just such a brilliant scene. And you come wandering through all the guards and that lot. It's just amazing. And when they do blow up Parliament, that is one hell of a scene. It's just a damn good. I don't think it did well at the cinema. I don't think it, made much money. But movies like this don't usually do that anyway. These sort of movies become cults.
Well, sadly, like most of Alan Moore's graphic novels, they're too serious. They're not just men running around with their underwear outside their pants and capes on and stuff. Those are the only movies people want to see. Now, if you want to watch something that's going to make you think, watch this or watch The Watchmen. But I mean,
The Watchmen is also really, really incredible.
Yeah, it's the same writer. But it's about they're both about a future maybe kind of thing. And
but it, and also as well the choreography of the fight scenes in this. He's twirling of his swords and the way it's shot when it's going into slow motion, there's blood here, and it's just the color. It's just I love it. I love watching this. So, anything else what anyone would like to say before we go to final turn score?
And the bit with dominoes is pretty cool too. The bit where he sets up all these dominoes just to show his icon.
I mean, I wonder how many times one of them fell over and it set it all off. Because it can happen. Oh dear. Let's go to final turn score then. Tim, over to you.
Well, I enjoyed it so much that I'm tempted to give it a 10, because it really is a solid movie. But on the other hand, it's a movie I haven't. Oh, am I? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're on.
Okay.
No. You're on.
Well, I was just saying I'm tempted to give it a 10, but it's also a movie I haven't watched in over 10 years. So I mean, it's like I can't have enjoyed it that much at the original time. So maybe it's something I grew into. But I'm gonna give it a 9.5. It's a very good film.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Susan.
I have watched this a couple times recently, like I guess 3 or 4 times recently, and so because I can't get over how, prescient it is about the situations in the world today, and uh, how great Hugo Weaving is, and how great the rest of the cast is, and how it's brutal, and it tucks againly with all the torture. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what it is about these movies that we're watching, but like that's just kind of a theme, uh, a steady theme actually, and so perhaps we are all feeling it and stuff, but anybody can feel anything that Hugo Weaving, even with a mask on, desires you to feel. He's like that. He's got that chops, and so I'll give it 10 Guy Fawkes masks out of 10. I mean, it's no brainer for me. I may watch it again in another couple months. It it's got yeah, it's caught my attention, and once again, happy birthday posthumously to John Hurt. We just seem to be surrounded by his face and stuff in our reviews recently. So just the best stuff ever. Back over to you, Lee.
Yeah. Um, what shall I give it? I enjoyed it, but I'm like Tim here. I haven't seen. I'm going to give it a 9. It's a well-deserved 9 powder kegs out of 10. So I'd like to thank Susan and Tim for discussing For Vendetta. You guys out there, go and watch it. Please leave a comment below what you think of the movie. We're on Facebook, we're on Twitter. We also have this YouTube channel, what you'll be watching this on. If you want to know, please press the bell button, and every time we put up a video, movies, TV, audio dramas, please message us, and we'll try and get you on in the near future. So until next time, just remember, the 5th of November, don't play with fireworks, kiddies. Bye bye now.